Hello and welcome to the Plant Doctor. On this week's edition, what we're going to do is look at how to propagate these guys. So this is a Emerald Green Arborvitae, and this should work for any of the evergreen trees that are going to have this textured leaf to them here. So green giant, emerald green, Leyland Cypress. You could probably do this same propagation method with all three of these. So let's take a look and see what we're going to do. Arborvitae is a evergreen tree that grows about 15 feet tall and maybe 3 or 4 feet in diameter, and is typically used as screens or corner plants on houses. They make great screens if you have some nosy neighbors and you need a screen between you and them. That's a good one, especially if you're dealing with full sun to maybe part shade. They don't do well at all in full shade. They'll get leggy and they'll have holes in them that you can see through, so make sure you're keeping these in full sun. In terms of where they grow, zones 4 to 8, so that's going to be kind of middle Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi into Texas, north probably up towards the Great Lakes. So this is an excellent tree to use if you need a screen or a corner planting for those purposes. So it's a very windy day here in North Alabama. We had an unusual cold front come in here in the middle of June. It didn't cool it off much at all, but at least the humidity's gone. So if you hear a lot of wind in the background, that's what's going on here. But let's talk about the tools that we need in order to be successful in doing this. It's really quite simple. If you've watched any of my other propagation videos, you know that I'm big on sanitation. So the first thing that I'm going to do is make sure I have a bottle of rubbing alcohol, and then a good sharp pair of hand pruners. We want to sterilize our hand pruners before we take our cuttings of our arborvitae. So after we've sanitized our pruners, we need to collect some cuttings, and what you need for that is pretty simple. You need your sterilized pruners and you need a bucket to put your cuttings in. You can take top branches like you're seeing here in this video. I'm just trimming the top out of these just to shape them up a little bit. But if you need to take lateral branches as well, they will root just as well as the top branches. Last year I rooted out probably 40 or 50 of these guys, and now they're all in 1-gallon pots. But the main thing is get cuttings that look healthy, and they're going to be at least 6 inches long. You can go 8 or 10 inches long on these as well, and you'll be doing pretty good with your cutting selection. I root these out in a propagation box that I made about 2 or 3 years ago. It's real simple. It's pressure treated 2x6s. I've got them in a 6x6, so they're 30. My growing area is 36 square feet, and that is filled about 6 inches deep with coarse sand. And on top we just have some polyvinyl, just like you would see on any other greenhouse. I do find it important to keep this in the shade and make sure it stays moist. You can either poke a few little holes in the top of it, so when it rains, the rain will filter down into your propagation box, or you can open it up occasionally, spray some water in there. And I've also used a water holding container in there as well. Just fill that up with water, and as the box heats up, let humidity do its thing, so we'll have evaporation out of the container holding the water, and it condensates on the plastic on the top, and it almost acts like natural rain, and that works really good as well. But the main thing is keep it in the shade and keep it moist. So when I stick my cuttings, one thing I want to do is go ahead and dig out a trench to put them in. So this needs to be 2 or 3 inches deep. What you don't want to do is stick your cutting in rooting hormone and then stick it in the sand, because you're going to rub off a lot of that rooting hormone. So go ahead and dig out a little trench. for your cuttings. And then once you've done that, what you can do is pour out some rooting hormone in the cap of your rooting hormone container. Never dip your cuttings down in your bottle, because you could cross-contaminate, spread viruses and pathogens throughout your nursery, and that's one thing we don't want to do. So what I do is I pour it in the cap, and then once I'm done, I'll pour some alcohol in the cap and then put the cap back on the bottle, and that way I know that my rooting hormone stays sanitized. Once I've stuck my cuttings, what I'll do is I'll give them probably 60 days. I'm not going to do anything to them at all. And after about 2 months, 8 weeks, somewhere in there, I'll go out and I'll pull up on 1 or 2 of them to see if they've started to root. And I'm going to leave those there until the fall. Even once they've started rooting in, I don't like to transplant from the propagation box to a pot during the summer, because it's just too much heat stress, especially in the part of the country where I am. We have long, hot, humid summers, and it just really stresses out the plant if you try to transplant in the months of June, July, August, and into September. So probably in October, what I'll do, like I did with this crop, I rooted these out last summer, and over the fall I potted them up into 1-gallon pots, and as you can see, they're pretty much rooted. There's a little loose soil in there, but you can see the roots go all the way down to the bottom of the pot. I would say, some nurseries may pass that off and say that's a rooted 1 gallon, but I'm going to give these guys another 30 or 60 days, and I'm going to say that these guys are fully rooted. What I'll do with these is, again, in October, I'm going to bump these to a 3 gallon, and I would expect by this time next year for this tree to be somewhere in the order of 2.5 feet tall, give or take. Depends on the fertilizer regimen and how diligent I am about getting out and putting water on them. But they are pretty hardy, so I expect this to be a nice 3 gallon by this time next year. This video is a special request by Javier Felix. So Javier is going to be a member of one of the propagation groups on Facebook, and we got to messaging on Facebook Messenger back and forth, and he asked that I do this video. So Javier, this one's for you. As always, guys, thanks for watching The Plant Doctor. It really means a lot. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback about the videos that we're doing here. And at the end of the day, it's about you guys and helping you be a more successful gardener, a more successful propagator. So I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the subs. If you hadn't already, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps us out a lot here on the channel. Until next time, this is The Plant Doctor.